Today I'm going to be going through Tekki Shodan, okay, the first of the 3 tekkis. Now, this kata is for the purple and white stripes for grading, as 4 cues, okay. So, let's go. I've got 2 views. I've got one right in front of me, which will be closer to the arm movement, so you can see those. I've got an upper view, which can see everything really. So, please refer to both if you're not sure, can't see a view. Okay, they're both available here on YouTube. Okay guys, so let's get going. So with Tekki Shodan, okay, we begin with the usual bow, okay, and it's silent rust on all katas and yoi, okay. Now, the second yoi, you bring your right leg in, and you put your left hand over your right, okay? Your left hand over your right. All right? And that's the beginning of Tekki Shodan. So you do the usual bow, silent us, usual yoi, second yoi, you will prepare in this position. Left over right. Okay, so if you can have a look at the hands closer, they're both straight, fingers closed, and hand left over right. Okay, so let's go. Let's do it in sequences. Now, the beginning is you look to your right and you drop and step over with your left leg over, and as you can see, the weight goes mostly on the left foot, flat, and the right foot is up. Right foot is up, okay? So let's do that again. So the first thing is you look and step over, okay? So if you look at the feet here, this is what happens, okay? And the next move will be this. All right, so let's continue. Step over. Now, this knee lift is as high as possible, guys, okay? As high as possible. The first move, that knee lift, okay, after the step, must be as high as possible. So the higher you can get it, the better. All right? So, now the clue here is the right arm is underneath, so it stays underneath, okay? It stays underneath, which means the next move is you step 1, knee, right knee comes as high as possible, right arm prepares here, stays underneath. Fast backhand, block or strike, whatever you, okay, would be a block. All right, so let's do that again. So the first move, look, step, knee high, prepare, block, back of the hand, open hand, okay? That's the first move. Now that should be dynamic and fast, okay? So I'm going to take you through the next few moves now. So let's begin again. V stance, remember, when you bow, silent us, because it's kata, yoi, shout the kata Tekki Shodan, second yoi, prepare, left over right. Begin. Step. Okay. There we go. So the next move is elbow strike. Now the whole kata is in horseback stance. So when you do these twisting movements of the upper body, do not move the body so much that this happens. The moment you move anything lower than this, okay, that happens. You can't avoid that. So you don't move that part. They stay still, the hips, only above, only you from the waist. Okay, do you move? All right, so that's important in the whole kata. So the stance should remain strong. All right? So let's go. 1, 2. Elbow. 3, 4. If you watch your hands carefully, I'll show you this in close-up any minute. Gedambarai, hook punch. Step over. Okay, that's the right leg stepping over the left. And it's almost like the start but the opposite. Okay, right foot plants. Left foot just comes up. And the knee comes high again. And as you do the next move, which is knee high, okay, and land, you do an inside block with this hand which is prepared. And you look to the front. Okay? So that's the first part. Let's do that again. So let's talk about the arms, then I'll show you close up. Okay? 1, 2. Elbow strike. 3, 4. Left hand closed, right hand closed. Left hand over right. Looking this way once you do that. Downward block, hook punch. Be careful not to do that. Not straight arm. And also be careful not to be too high. Okay? You should have the idea of always downward slope on the arm. Trickling water, they used to tell me. Okay? Not running fast water and not going the wrong way water. Trickling, trickling. Hook punch. Now, I'll explain this now. When you're doing a hook punch, it's the same as a punch, straight, middle level, but you leave the top arm where it is, and you bend this arm, and that's hook. That's the clue, okay, how to do it correctly. A tip, sorry. Okay, so from there, you will step over, as I said, as you're walking sideways. Take the weight on your right, up with your left. Your arms stay the same until the knee lift, and as you do that, you're still looking this way, and then this arm prepares, land horseback, inside block, look to the front. Okay, you guys? Okay, hope that makes sense. Let me talk about the arms. Let me talk about the first moves with more detail, okay, or close up. So, you stepped over, you've done the knee lift. This is a fast backhand block, okay? Now, elbow strike, and then straight to the hip, look to your left. As soon as this hand, as soon as you strike here and go to your hip, this is your right, this is your left. Cup and saucer we call it, koshi kame, koshi kame. Your head moves to your left. So your knee lands, so your foot lands, backhand looking this way. Elbow looking this way, and as soon as your hand goes to your hip, look to your left. Block downwards, gedambarai. Hook punch. Okay? So your head is looking this way. And then you do the step, and the knee rise and the block. Fast. Okay? So that's what happens there. Let's continue. So from this part, your left arm travels forward like it's going up like that, okay? But it goes in front of this arm. So the left goes in front of this arm, and then it breaks like you're preparing for a sotoyuki, like you're preparing for this, okay? But it carries on moving. So from there, when you landed that foot, you looked, blocked, middle level block, not high. This arm goes forward because someone would be grabbing you there and you're disengaging. That's what you're doing. Disengaging. Fast move, sweep back, and as you come back, this hand straightens, hits the face of the person, of the opponent, okay? The attacker grabbing you. 1, disengage, strike, and this arm carries on down like an arc and goes up like this, like in a rising punch. And the other hand finishes up here, just under the elbow. Okay, just under there. Just under there. Okay, so let's do that again. You've landed, 1, 2, 3. Slow motion, 1, 2, 3. Still looking in front. This should be central and just about the height of your chin, because that's where it's going to the opponent. Okay, so guys, that's quite a tricky move, but I've slowed it down. Okay, so that's what we've got. All right, so let's go through the first part again very briefly. Drop, right, 1, backhand, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the timing, by the way. Step 6, slow. Now that's a slow move. You kind of pause here for a moment. Then lift this knee, land. Fast, look to front. Break, punch. All right? Now, we're almost coming to the half of the kata. So from there, because the clue is here, because you finish with the left hand up, that's the way you look next. Okay? That's the way you look next. So from there you look, you evade. Now I'll explain what you're doing there in a moment. You look, you evade, and you turn and block with this arm in this position. Okay? Then you look the other way. Look, evade with your foot, turn, block. Hand to your hip, same as before, hip, koshikami, but you look this way as that happens, and you double punch. Hook punch, not reverse, and straight. Okay? So from there, ki-ai, that's half of the kata. Okay? Now let me describe and explain those last few moves in close-up. So, I've explained these parts close up, okay, stepped over, block, okay, explained that. Now, this foot movement, guys, is almost like an evasion of a sweep, someone sweeping you. So you're evading your foot. But what you're doing, what your aim is to do is turn your foot upwards, and with the sole of your foot, aim to just touch the bottom of your karate suit. Okay, that takes some practice. So let me show you, going back a bit. Okay, so it's this kind of thing. Okay, you can practice, put your hands there, touching your hands. But the aim is to get the sole of the foot just beneath the thigh there. Turning it up, turning it up, okay? Turning it up. Now you should also, once you get better at this, be able to do this without coming up too much. So it's basically a move without doing this, okay? So you want to stay in a position as deep as possible, okay? Now, when you finish up with this arm here, okay, it's 3 moves. Look, leg, turn and block. Turn and block, so you're turning the hand. Then you look the opposite way, leg, turn and block this way. And then you bring your hands to your hip and look left, ki-ai, double punch, hook, straight down. Shoulder, same as this height, this one. And this one's hook, so it's Shodan height. Us. Okay, so that's the first half. Now the second half of the kata, guys, apart from the next move, which is slow, is exactly the same. Exactly the same as you just did, but different side of the body. Okay, so I'll do that for you to see. So you finished here, ki. This hand opens, well, both hands open and it goes underneath. Left underneath right. Still looking this way, slow backhand. That's the only difference, because at the start when you drop, this is fast. Should be fast hand. But here is slow. So from this punch, ki. Okay, now, I will do the next bit slow, but I'll tell you the speed any minute. So it's exactly the same, but it's the opposite side of the body. So it's elbow strike, koshikami, right on top, left on bottom. Okay? Remember, after this, so you've just done this, slow. Look to your right this time, fast. So the count is, okay, the count is 1, 2. Gedambarai hook punch, 3, 4. Okay? And they're all fast moves, but their timing is like that. Okay? So you step over, take the weight on your left foot, coming up on your right. Big knee lift. As you land, look to the front inside block. Remember what we did, but it's the opposite arm. Straight up, disengage, straight attack, come around and crescent upwards motion, strike. Make sure hands are closed, fists, okay? Now, clue is the right arm is out, so that's the way you look first. Look leg, block, look leg, block, hand to your hip, look to your right, left, right, ki. Finished. Now, the way you finish is up, open both hands, come back to yame, left over right. V stance, open feet, hand to your hip, bare. Finished. Okay, guys? Back to yame if you want. Alright? So, let me just go to the second part, just to clarify you've got that. So guys, the second part after this is exactly the same as the first part. Okay, exactly. And so the only difference is from there, this is a slow motion move and you're not stepping into it. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Step over 5. Adjusting. 6, 7, 8, 9. Ki. Open hands. Yame. Alright. Okay? So, let me just explain a few things before we finish. So, hopefully guys, there's enough detail in there for you to understand, but always ask questions in the actual classes, okay? That we run, if you're not sure, obviously. This is just to get the idea of the kata now. So, I'll do the kata as best as I can. Okay, I will be adjusting for space, but I'll do it with the correct timing for you, okay? So you can see the timing. Okay. Tekki Shodan. Yeah. Yeah. Okay guys, so that's the timing. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to go any further into this. Okay. Yeah, any questions? Let me know. All right. Well done, guys. Oops.